I was hooked to the Baptist church. And the two strongest forces in the history of America has always been the black woman and the black church. So the woman I'm married to for 50 years, her daddy was a preacher, so I got both of them in one. You know, and one day when we black men understand who that sister is, then we take over the whole planet. But you see, if you took the whitest person on the planet and just cut their wrist, not a negative, just do a test, and they get a scab, and the scab would be darker than them. And if you went to Africa and found some real black folks, so black they're purple, and cut them, the scab is darker than them. And so I go all over the world and I talk to some of the wisest, richest, smartest people on the planet. And I say, can you make a scab? You make a rocket, you can put an army together, you can put a mathematical people, but you can't make a scab. Only the universe can make that. And it's no accident the scab is dark, and maybe what the universe is telling us, our darkness, we the healing of the planet. When we stop want to be part of it, then maybe we'll be able to do our function. It's that. And so consequently, when you sit and you look at the whole thing about eating for taste, and the whole slave meal, you know, black folk, you know, soul food. Well, I ain't never known no black person got lynched because they had the recipe to a sweet potato pie. You know, I don't know no black person that the police brutalized them because of the way they cook pork chops. You know, I see black folks would die, man, and they be with mom and dad. The kid out of bounds. They trying to see at that last minute they give away that barbecue formula. You know, and so it's that whole thing that see, yeah, man, white folk can't dance. Well, can you put in the bank? You know, white folk can't cook soul food. Can you put in the bank? And if there was anything good on the planet, they have stolen it. And so consequently, when you look at, you have to go back and look at soul food. The white folk didn't let us have chickens, you know, or hogs, or pigs. That was them. We could have a garden. That's where our health came from, was the garden. You know. And then I grew up 76 years ago. I was a vegetarian 5 days a week and didn't know it. Because we ate meat on the weekend. You know, on Saturday, you had bologna sandwich. On Sunday, they laid it out, man, you know. But we didn't have all that. And through the week, it was just one meat: beans, navy beans, butter beans, with the meat, the seasoning. That wasn't to eat, that was just the seasoning. And so we grew up accidentally away from the negative because we couldn't afford it. And then the soul food came from, there was no such thing as refrigeration. So we had an ice box. So you didn't have no gas stoves. You cooked on a wood stove. So because how hot it was, when it get to be 110 and say, look, you still had to cook. And you cooked that morning for the whole 3 days because you couldn't afford it. And then you put it in an ice box. You get 100 pounds of ice for a dime. Now let me tell you what you get for a dime. You could get 5 pounds of potatoes for a penny, 2 loaves of day-old bread for a penny. You could get, when you think about, you still got 8 cents left, you know. So who gonna buy? So now when you put it in that ice box with no ice in it, it got a little taint on it. So it hadn't spoiled, but it got a little taint. And then, so then they put the gravies and the different stuff. That's where that came from. So now we can eat food with no taint and still put all that other stuff on it that was used as a mechanism so I could get past the smell and the odor. Because I know, you know, what happens if you don't walk. And I mean, I went the whole route, so you're talking to the person that knows. I used to drink a fifth of scotch every day, smoke 4 packs of cigarettes every day. I liked one cigarette, I didn't need another match. And my top weight was 365 pounds, so I went the whole route. And so to sit back now and look at, you know, the school lunch program, and the only thing bad about what's happening now is, this is mean for me to say that, there's a lot of white folk now is reduced to eating the way black folks have to eat, and with no insurance.